Hi and welcome back. I'm Paul,
I'm Martin.
and this topic this week. I've been watching a bit of football this week. I'm a bit confused. Punching the ball, catching the ball, parrying the ball. When, how, why? I sort of feel there's been, maybe it's just me, has there been a shift over the years that, and I see it from an equipment point of view, there's fewer and fewer gloves with punch zones. You know, there's this minimalistic thing. So if there's fewer gloves with punch zones, does that mean keepers are punching it less? And I'm watching the game thinking maybe they are punching it less. And then I'm seeing, you know, this whole catch parry kind of thing going on. So, yeah, discuss, as they say.
I think, it has definitely evolved. It was very much, back in the day, it seems to be a lot more catching. I think the big difference for that is the weight of the ball. I think the difference from, 30 years ago, 40 years ago to, how light the ball is now is like worlds apart.
So weight, i.e. movement, really then?
Yeah.
It's moving more in the air, therefore it's becoming harder to pick it up to catch it.
Yeah.
Which is logical.
Completely. So, the swing and the swerve on the ball, it makes a massive impact. But I always encourage the goalies I've ever worked with to try and catch. If it's there to catch, try and catch it. Why? Because you keep possession of the ball, you can slow the game down, you're in control for the next 10 seconds of the game. If it's there to catch, you try and catch it. That's how I've always looked at it, especially in training. We'll try that. We'll go that extra mile to see if we can catch stuff. For me,
for any sort of shot, for any situation, or is there a bit of a rule of thumb that, outside of a particular, I don't know, arm span, distance, that really the sensible option, because you could have a, top corner catch, but my guess is that's a risky play.
Lots of things depend on it. So, the conditions, how fast the ball is, how fast the ball's actually coming at you, whether it's swinging and swerving or dipping or rising, because some of the balls now actually rise after you've hit them, which we know with Ronaldo, that does that now. But it all depends. It all depends on them sort of different factors. But the main thing for me is probably the pace of the ball. If you've got an opportunity to, move your feet and get closer to the ball to give yourself the best chance to catch, then for me you're going to try and catch it. Doesn't matter where, within reason, where it is in the goal. Because if it's going quite slow and you've got a chance to move your feet and go, even if it's top corner or bottom corner, it's reasonably slow. You've got a chance to get across, so you can try and catch the ball. So catching has definitely faded a little bit. I can't say it's gone. It's not gone. But yeah, it's faded a lot. And I think that's the main reason of, goalkeepers from abroad coming over and bringing different styles. And as we all know, the game evolves constantly, and so does the position of goalkeeping. And they have brought a lot more of a different vibe rather than just, catching. I remember being at Tottenham working with Radek Cherny.
Right.
Radek was a Czech Republic goalie, played for Tottenham, went off to QPR after that. And I asked him, what sort of stuff did you do as a kid, just out of interest? He said, funny you asked that, so I knew he was going to ask that, the way the session was going today. And he said, why you guys over here are turning off posts and catching the ball, we're over there flying around and jumping over hurdles and parrying everything around. And I'm like, it's really interesting how the difference, the same concept of trying to keep the ball out of the goal, but just completely different styles. So, but no, it's definitely fading.
But I wonder, it's interesting, not knowing the position in the with the understanding and depth that you have. But I wonder, and some people feel free to shoot me down here, but is it almost more fashionable to parry? I know it sounds really weird, but to parry. And again, I know we often mention this in the podcast and the chats, but that social media, perfect shot. I'm parrying it around I'm flying through the air. I'm born to fly. All this sort of stuff. It doesn't quite look as spectacular if you're catching the ball. It looks awesome if I'm parrying it round the. Is it that? I mean, maybe because we don't know where we all get influenced in different ways.
Yeah.
And any keeper at any level, I'm sure, is engaged in some shape or form in social media. It's where the eyeballs are.
Yeah.
Is it that, or am I just being a bit cynical?
I think to the naked eye, it does. It does have a lot more spice to it. It does. But then I'd argue the case potentially against that, where you see Peter Schmeichel made a save. I think it was a home game, even to his left. I remember that. I don't remember my wedding anniversary, but I can remember the guy make the save to his left.
Yeah.
Dive top corner and catches the ball.
Yeah.
You can all see the crowd like.
I can see there's a photo somewhere. I've seen it. Whether he's got it or somebody's got that
it's incredible
photo. Yeah, I think it was a prize-winning photo, wasn't it?
And to me, that still looks ridiculous.
It does, but is it the riskier play? Safe option parry, riskier option catch, because is it more likely to go through your hands if you try and catch the ball?
Yeah, so with the weight of the ball and how much it moves now, the risk factor is a lot more with trying to catch the ball, purely because the ball does move like silly amounts.
But you're still coaching the fundamentals are to catch the ball.
Yeah.
So at what point, and I guess I appreciate it's a decision-making point from the keeper, but at what point does he or she decide, actually, I mean, it's a split second, it's a point of a second, but I can't catch it, I'm going to parry it, or I'm not going to catch it, I'm going to parry it. How do you coach that as a technique and as a process?
If you're in a training session, I think what you can do is set up different scenarios. So, for example, if it's raining, it's a fantastic opportunity to go, right, it's raining, I'm going to put a rebounder in, make a decision. So if they're making a save and out the corner they see, you're closing me down and you're 3 inches from my face, if I drop the ball, then you might go, do you know what, take all the risk away, I'm going to parry the ball.
Yeah.
So in training session, in small-sided games where things move really quickly, and there's not one ball, there's 8 balls ready to go all the time, you may not have that time to try and catch. You'd rather just try and get rid of it. So I think that the massive thing over the years that has changed has been the weight of the ball. That's what I strongly believe in. Even, at a reasonably young age still, even playing with the mitre balls, looking from the mitre balls to what the balls are now, even the weight difference still is huge. So if I was to play today, I think I would. I probably would revert a little bit more to the option.
But it's quite interesting because the glove manufacturers would probably argue, yes, the ball is lighter and moves more and so on and so forth, but the glove technology has moved on, that there are now grippier gloves.
Yeah.
So do the grippier gloves offset this ball change?
I think, it does, but the psychological side of goalkeeping is still there. The aspect of, as I'm diving, oh my God, it's pouring down and the ball is really, really wet. For me, it doesn't matter what gloves you've got on. The psychological part takes over, and you revert to what you feel comfortable with. And if you're comfortable just parrying it, you're just going to parry it and get rid of the ball.
So we're saying in wet conditions, let's say windy conditions, the default, the safer play is almost certainly to parry the ball.
Yeah.
What about so conversely, good benign conditions, dry, sunny, whatever, if you can catch the ball because you've got your 10 seconds, you've got control, you can get the ball back in play quicker and so on and so forth. Yeah. There's not the risk of a rebound, there's not risk of a player following through if the parry doesn't go out of play, etc., etc.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what happened to the punch? I mean, I'm sure as a kid, I'm sure more keepers used to punch the ball, didn't they? Or is it just my imagination? And I want to talk about, and back in those days, I'm sure it was a one-handed punch. Now, isn't there a bit of a two-handed punchy thing coming in the game?
Well, if we were talking about crosses, for example, the punch can be a really effective thing. Really effective if it's same again. If it's windy, it's raining, or there's bodies around you. It might be last 10 seconds of games. Don't take the risk in catching, so you're going to punch it. But in terms of shot stopping and punching for me have just been a bad combination. And I remember being at Ben Roberts used to do this at Charlton. We'd be in a training session, and all of a sudden, the goalie coach Mickey Cole used to be the goalie coach. Mick was serving, say, some volleys just to get him warm, and all of a sudden, randomly out of nowhere, he just double hand punches the ball and dives like top corner, and we'd all be in stitches. And it's like, he was sort of half tatting the mick out, and maybe a goalie had seen the weekend and decided maybe from abroad we're just going to punch the ball rather than just catch it. The only aspect of punching from shots for me would be that I don't believe, and it's my opinion, I don't believe you've got as much control in terms you know where that ball's going. I've spoke to a lot of German goalies on this. They'll disagree and say, look, if I can get half decent contact, that ball's going a lot further away than it is if you guys are parrying it. Which is a great argument. But for me, I'd still rather put a ball in a safer area, worrying about how far I could get the ball. So it's all about what you feel comfortable with, you know.
And I guess, as you say, going back to the Czech scenario, it's kind of what you grow up with.
Yes.
So if there are certain nations that are coaching in particular situations, that's a double-handed punch is the way to go. You've grown up with that, and therefore you're going to apply that in a game situation. Whereas, if you're saying actually, it's not something I coach, it's not something I really would endorse. I kind of get it.
Of course, and look, the reality is you're trying to keep the little white object out of the goal, aren't you? Yeah. So, people can sort of state, it must be done this way, it must be done that way, or listen, keep the ball out of the goal. You've done your job, and as goalie coaches and goalie enthusiasts, all we're trying to do is give the goalkeepers different ways of trying to adjust to things. I remember doing a game with Sunderland away with Fulham, and Marcus Bettinelli was the goalie, and the balls bounced in front of him, but it weren't too far away that he was going to go for a diving save in terms of a collapsing save. It kind of come in and around his feet as a pickup. But the ball started to swerve away. And anyway, he's turned his hand and he's basically pushed the ball out. It looked really strange.
It, yeah.
And when you look back on the video, you notice as he goes to do that, Jermaine Defoe's like 1.5 yards from Marcus's head. So he's obviously weighed that decision up and gone, if I turn my hands the other way and I do drop this, the odds are it's probably going to be a goal. For a world-class striker, that's probably going to be a goal. So he's gone, made a decision, turned his hand, and he's literally scooped the ball, and it's kind of gone over Defoe's head and out for a corner. Keep the ball out the goal.
Yeah, and actually world-class decision-making, world-class improvisation, really.
Yeah. So you've got to adjust. It's all about...
So we didn't put... Should we have a scoop in there as well? Then we got punch, catch, parry, scoop. Because you don't see many scoops. But hey, maybe as a technique, there's some validity in there.
Yep. But as I say, for me, it's just a matter of finding the most effective way to keep the ball out of the goal. And if it's a punch, it's a punch. And what you will find is though with especially say more at pro clubs where pro clubs also grassroots teams have got lots of cameras now, so they can watch the other team now. Which is really interesting to see what the goalie, if they're common patterns to the goalie. So does the goalie like to punch the ball from shots a lot? So if they do, maybe we need to get people around the box for when we do have shots. Rebounds, they may be coming out. Do they parry it? If they parry it, great, but where are they parrying it? Well, they parry it a lot, but it parries right into the middle of the goal. Perfect. So we're going to get a centre forward to run straight into the middle of the goal as he goes to parry it, So there's pros and cons to all three ways, but you find your way, like we do with everything.
Perfect. So there you go. Punch, catch or parry, it's your decision. Thanks for listening. See you again.